wonderful afternoon to you out there, and welcome on board. It's actually a new month, a month of favor, and I believe that we're all set for this wonderful month. I just pray that this month would bring us all of the glad tidings whatsoever our hearts has been desiring to get in this new year. All right, and I pray that for all that we're actually working towards to actually, gather or put together or making ends to actually meet, God Almighty would crown all our effort. And it's a new month for you to start afresh, and don't feel, will I say, discouraged whatsoever that you tried pulling through as regards to January, and peradventure it didn't actually scale through. Doesn't mean that that's the end. You just have to go into your drawing book again, check your blueprint, and re-strategize and see how to actually keep pushing, because I believe that it is not always over until it is over. So welcome on board and welcome to the program. It is People's Voice on VOPT, Voices and Stories Shape the Narrative. And today we'll be dissecting two major stories that are dominating the headline, sparking conversation across the nation. Atiku'S ambition fuels ADP alliance rumors. There's something about to happen in the political space as regards to another coalition again. Let's actually wait and see. Defense Minister targeted in Ford coup plots. Of course, these are the major conversations we'll be talking about. Join the conversation with experts and citizen perspective. Share your thoughts with us. I am Savior Udo. Let's look into other news stories with details. Labour Party crisis. OT regrets Obi's exit, seeks Abure's return. Abia State Governor and Labour Party leader Alex Oti has expressed regret over Peter Obi's exit from the party, describing it as a major loss. Oti urged former National Chairman Julius Abure to return to the party, stating that a reconciliation committee would be set up to engage aggrieved members. The party has also announced plans to hold Congress in March to begin the revalidation of membership and, of course, registration of new members. I love the fact that Governor Alex Oti is really trying so much to see how he can actually mend, so many fences and rebuild the party again. This man is quite strong when it comes to the Labour Party. He's been given several options, and that's one of the reasons why the likes of his predecessors, Theodore, Ojizo Kalu in the state, have been having issues, with him. And of course, even to the Deputy Speaker of House of Rep, Benjamin Kalu, they've been having issues with him because he has decided not to defect to the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress. And he said he's still here, he's still a member of the Labour Party. And I think he's just trying to do all he can to see how to, settle everybody and for the party to actually come back again to one piece. Let's see how far this particular one would go, because I don't think Abure is ready for this particular conversation. Instead, Abure wants to, appeal as regards to the court rulings, and Abure wants to see how to take over Labour Party again. That's all that for now I know about the Labour Party conversation, because I brought them on board last week for them to come and talk about the whole situation after the court actually, ruled Abure out and asked the INEC, to recognize Senator Nadi Usman. Away from that particular one, Falana slams Senate over delays in Electoral Act amendment. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has criticized the Nigerian Senate for repeatedly delaying the Electoral Act amendment bill, warning that it could compromise the credibility of 2027 general elections. Falana expressed frustration over the Senate's decision to establish another committee to review the bill, which the House of Representatives passed in December 2025. He urged Nigerians to pressure the National Assembly to pass the bill, stressing that the proposed reform addressed long-standing gaps in the Electoral Act. This particular was part of our conversation last week, and we also talk about, the reason why the National Assembly has been delaying this whole thing, and of course we call them out, and that's what we do here. Not just because we want to call any government official out, no, or any parastatal, what have you, but what we do here is we balance, information. So if the Senate or the House of Rep, is failing in doing their core, duty, the reason why they were elected there, we have to just call them and let them know that this is what we want them to do, for the nation and for the people, of this country. And we don't know the reason why this has been taking long. Just like Femi Falana said, this particular, committee, House of Rep already, did all of the vettings, and this bill was meant to be passed. The Senate was meant to look into this particular one. But creating a new committee now to go all over again, we don't know what's going on. Abuja municipal election is this month, and I believe you know what that means. That means they'll be using the old electoral amendment bill and not the new one. I think you understand what that particular one means. And of course, we have Ekiti and Osun election around the corner as well in the same 2026, before the 2027 general elections. Let's see what will happen in the coming days if the Senate would actually deem it fit to do our bidding this time around. Onitsha traders reopened shops after Soludo's warning. Traders at Onitsha Main Market in Anambra State have resumed businesses after a one-week shutdown following a directive from Governor Chukwuma Soludo. The reopening comes amid heightening security measures and warning against compliance with the indigenous people of Biafra. The sit-at-home order has been a big concern, for the people of Anambra, and of course, the police have increased patrols and surveillance to maintain law and order, while the government has assured traders of full security coverage. Let's see how this particular one would go, in the coming days. But I just hope that the IPOB will not take this up on the people, and just like the Commissioner of Police has actually, said that they've beefed up the security, and I believe the governor is putting, every necessary security measure in place so as to protect, the people in that particular market. But I would actually want them to do better, just like what I said, early this year. My question is, which I would actually ask again, I said, what did the Eastern State governors do with the IPOB during the Yuletide season last year, December? Because I remember that the IPOB, members actually called on all of their brothers and sisters in diaspora and wherever they were, to come back home and celebrate the Christmas, and promising that peace, has been restored. And not only that, they even promised that there would be peace all through the Yuletide season. And they actually kept to that promise. So we don't know what the governors in the East did. We don't know what agreement was made with the IPOB on non-government, whatever, include all of the non-state actors. We don't know what the federal government also agreed with them. But there was peace, and that's what I've been asking. What did you do? And if at all there was an agreement or you did something, I would want you to go back to that particular agreement and let peace just reign in that particular region of this country. We just want peace. Everybody just wants to be safe. Basically, that's just it. All right, let's go to the Osun's quarters now. Osun Assembly APC chairman clash over local government funds. The Osun State House of Assembly and, of course, the All Progressive Congress local government chairman have clashed over allegations of illegal disbursement of council funds. The Assembly claims that the bank and ABC elected chairman improperly released substantial sums from the council's allocation, with former Governor Adegboyega Oyetola allegedly implicated. And of course, the APC chairman have dismissed the claims, describing them as false and politically motivated. The dispute has escalated a long-running battle over control of local government areas in the state. And of course, let's take it up here simultaneously. We also have the situation of police here. Police urge Labour Union, beg your pardon, to reschedule Abuja protests. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has advised the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress, TUC, to reschedule their planned protests in Abuja. Citing security concerns, the unions had announced a peaceful solidarity rally to support affected workers, but the police expressed fears that the protests could be infiltrated by non-state actors, threatening public peace and security. And of course, a very tragic one here in the northern part of this country. Fire raises popular Kano markets. A devastating fire broke out in the early hours of Monday, February the 2nd, 2026, at a popular market in Kano known as a single market. The fire caused significant damage to a section of the busy market. The Kano State Fire Service responded promptly, deploying personnel to contain the blaze. As of 10 a.m. Today, firefighters were still working to bring the situation under control. More details, of course, on the incident waited. And of course, let's go back to the ruling party. APC opposed to Kwankwaso joining a party, says the national chairman. All Progressive Congress has expressed willingness to welcome former presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, into the party. APC national chairman, Professor Nentawi Ayuwatada, stated that the party's doors are open to Kwankwaso, although no formal negotiations are currently underway. This development comes amid recent defection in Kano state politics, with Governor Abba Yusuf and others joining the APC from the NNPP. I don't want to call this sarcasm. I don't know what we're going to call it, but of course, if this is even a satire from the APC to Kwankwaso, I don't know, because 1 minute you're actually saying that the same man does not have the political blocks anymore to actually pull the weight as regards to political situation, of course, and of course the polls. But here you are again saying that your doors are wide open for Kwankwaso. I don't know what you want him to do, but Kwankwaso has actually made it clear that if at all he is to move to any political party, it has to be a party that is ready to give him either presidential ticket or a vice presidential ticket. And of course, I would factor his Kwankwasia's movement, into the coalition or whatsoever they want to call it. But I don't think APC has such an option for Kwankwaso. Hence, Kwankwaso is still there, hoping that something would actually turn around as regards to the situation with Peter Obi as we speak. To join the conversation, kindly call the number 09044732605, 09044732605. Follow us on social media at VOBTV Live. You can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOBTV, and of course on YouTube, we're Voice of the People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, we'll be taking the first conversation here. Atiku'S ambition fuels ADP alliance rumors. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned, please. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. It is still People's Voice on Voice of People Television. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar met with the leadership of the Action Democratic Party, ADP, at his Abuja residence, discussing ways to protect democratic pluralism and ensure stable opposition ahead of the 2027 elections. The meeting comes amid rumors of a potential alliance between Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso to contest the African Democratic Congress ADC presidential ticket against Atiku. The ADP national chairman, Yabagi Yusuf Sani, denied that the meeting was aimed at merging with any party or recruiting individuals. Of course, I will now be joined by Adekunle Lukman Ade Folahan, a public and policy analyst. Good afternoon, Adekunle.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
It's another wonderful time again for us to actually go, head to head again today. You heard what they're actually talking about your brother in the north.
Yeah.
Okay, but before I allow you go into the conversation, I would also want you to take any of the news stories. But before then, I'd like to also introduce the guests in the studio. Joining us live in the studio, we have Mr. Obong Thompson, a journalist and a political analyst. You're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Silvio. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
All right, sir. You're welcome on board. Okay, so Adekunle, do you want to respond to any of the news stories?
Yes, I think let me respond to you around the Minister of Defense.
No, the Minister of Defense conversation is our second topic, so you still have time to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
because because I watched him live on
okay, yeah,
one
no,
of the
you
national
would, you would still talk about that. Of course, you can talk about the situation of APC saying that they are open to Kwankwaso. You can talk about
let me discuss APC so that their doors are open. To let you know that Nigerian politicians are our major problems. Because if APC is now calling on Kwankwaso that their doors are open, I won't be surprised if you should find Kwankwaso in APC. And to let you know how Nigerian politicians are with lack of ideology, because I would have expected Kwankwaso to leverage on departure of Abba Gida Gida to strengthen the opposition party of NNPP in Kano State or in the northwest block of Nigeria. You know, the lack of opposition in the political process has made it to look like childish play. Very unfortunately, that politicians are the one directing the affairs, how Nigeria should be run. So, if tomorrow we also in APC, I think it shouldn't be news to us again. Okay. Because if the national chairman can be telling him that their doors are open, it's telling you that there are a lot of discussion going on that Nigerians may not be privy to. Okay. However, I think it is high time for opposition party to get their house in order. That now makes me to talk about issue of Labour Party and the role that Abia State Governor Alex Oti is playing. Because if the opposition party are so structured and determined to play the opposition CN, APC played under the Jonathan administration, I think that would have given us opportunity to make choice between this current administration and other coalition of other political parties. But unfortunately, the way Alex Oti opposition, there's no clear vision that it may likely not also go to APC the way he has been talking for the past 2 weeks. But let's see how it goes. Okay. And also know that the court will play in the crisis in Labour Party and what have you. Okay. Because if opposition refuse to put their house in order, it should be very difficult for them to make impact in 2027.
All right, thank you.
The party will take advantage of their inability to be coordinated. Okay. That is their sure bank.
All right, thank you so much for that wonderful submission as regards to the news story. Mr. Obong, do you want to take any of the news story before we go into the topic?
Well, I think the issue in Onitsha.
Okay, I know you're a businessman. Part of you is a business.
It's actually, one of the story that is worrisome because for some times now we've had some level of decorum in that part of the country. Okay, and and we're believing that with time the agitation or the sit-at-home will whistle out. But there you have the governor of Anambra State going about to reawaken the whole scenario all again and making it look as if, there's so much tension.
No, but Governor Soludo was only saying that, why are they still obeying the sit-at-home? And he said for everyone who decided to sit at home, they would lock his shop. That's all he was saying, because he wanted them to go back to business.
Yeah, you also know these people they are private, traders. They are not under the government payroll.
But don't forget that the government own that particular market.
They also pay taxes, to the government. Okay. So government cannot trade on it. If government should close and shut down those shops, will government go in there to trade?
But they that are shutting down the shops on Mondays, don't you think?
It's still the traders that will go in there to shop, The fundamental thing there should be the security of lives and property of that market, in which the government is not doing enough. Okay. You see a lot of, I've happened to travel during that, sit at home before. Okay. And I know the escape, how I managed to escape.
I remember that particular conversation.
You cannot, risk the people's life and want them to go out and be trading when there's insecurity all over, when there is trade by the unknown gunmen, and by the time you are being killed, there's nothing the government will do, there's nothing anybody will do. So these are the fundamental questions that need to be addressed. First of all, the Governor Soludo should provide, first of all, enough securities to secure the traders in their market.
Okay, so
asking them to return.
Okay, so I think that particular conversation is cleared because enough police officers have been deployed to that market, and of course, some other parts of Anambra State as we speak. And the Commissioner of Police also mentioned that they are actually carrying out surveillances and making sure that the Indian Anambras actually have a very smooth business transaction, and of course they are in safe hands. Okay, so let's come back home. Let's come back to the conversation of the day. When I saw this particular news as regards to Atiku'S ambition, as regards to Atiku having a closed-door meeting with the ADP, it actually sparked rumors, conversation around other northern political blocs and of course the south political blocs as regards to, is Atiku threatened, or is it bothered because of what the former president, which is his former boss, actually said? Because Obasanjo does not want Atiku to actually go in for this particular election. Instead, Obasanjo wants Obi Kwankwaso tickets. And of course, Kwankwaso now is actually having, another thought, or is dragging his feet, because he is not also sure that Obi would get the presidential ticket of the ADC. And that's the reason why it is looking like, Kwankwaso is dragging his feet before joining, the party. And of course, so many northern leaders have also advised him that until he gets clarity, he shouldn't move an inch. But Atiku, on the other hand, is actually, making another move as regards to him talking with, the ADP, leadership. So what do you think is about to happen? Is Atiku fidgeting? Is he bothered? Is he scared of the Obi Kwankwaso alliance? Or this is just another way of him trying to see how to bring in another party into the ADC?
Well, you see, what is going on at the moment is, I would say, the real politics has not even been played, because you see, the survivor of opposition in Nigerian politics today, they need to, kind of manage their strategy, or manage their information, or manage their approach, because the ruling party is far, far ahead of them. And every single information that comes from the opposition party, the ruling party are working hard to make sure they thwart every progress that is supposed to be made. So for what you are saying, fine, Atiku having some political talks with the ADP. And other political parties. I also have prior information, that even the PDP will somehow also form a coalition with this same ADC at the end of the day. So there's a lot of in-house strategy which we do not even understand. But I believe they are waiting for the time for them to roll out most of their, killer punches and see how to, take over power from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But you see one thing about the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC, they have been able to, walk far ahead of this election. And if I might tell you, based on the strategic approach they are
the structures they've actually put in place,
they are having on ground now, you'll be somehow convinced to say that the election has been, concluded. So,
but some people will actually beg to differ.
The ADC is doing, one would have expected them to have harmonized all their differences by now, and then have a visionary leadership. If Atiku wants to lead the coalition, not necessarily, coming out as a presidential ticket, because this is one thing that will cost them this ticket. If they have been able to have a leader, that is selfless, that is not interested in running for any political post, but to make sure that they capture power from the ruling party, then the journey would have been far much easier for them to, embark on. But by the particular system they are embarking on, without any formidable structure, the only structure that can be brought into ADC camp will be the PDP, because PDP has all the structures in all nooks and crannies of this country. But anything absent of that, the ADC are not strong on ground, the ADP are not strong on ground, the Labour Party, we saw what happened in the last 2023 elections. Some of the polling units do not even have, polling agents. So these are the challenges, and these are the core areas they need to work on. They would have, by now, all the structures are supposed to have been put in place.
Okay.
By now, they would have worked far, maybe like 10 times ahead of the ruling party. But you see them still just slim for, who becomes the vice president, who becomes the president, candidate in the party. And this is a serious setback for, the coalition party.
Okay. So I love where you started off from, Mr. Obong Thompson, as regards to, you touched every necessary areas as regards to the PDP, the Labour Party, basically the opposition, against the APC. Let me take it to Adekunle. Adekunle, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so I would have to take some extracts from what Mr. Obong Thompson has said. He talked about the PDP. He said the PDP is the only party that has structures scattered around the states of Nigeria, including the FCT, and of course, in as much as we know that so many a chunk or enough PDP members have actually defected over time. Most of them have actually moved to the APC, but of course, some also stayed with the coalition group, which is the ADC. Now, PDP is also having their own issue because presently, as at Friday, a court actually nullified the Ibadan Convention, stating that convention was null and void, and whatsoever National Working Committee that was constituted is actually gone. It should go back to the former caretaker, which is Ayaun, that another court actually removed 12 days ago. So a court removed Ayaun, now another court is bringing him back. And PDP presently, of course, in as much as they said they want to appeal, presently they are also trying to, place their feet and, of course, grabbing something better for their party. On the other hand, Labour Party is also going through a lot, in as much as the INEC have actually removed Julius Abure from their portal and, of course, replaced it with Senator Nadi. They are also going through another issue. Now, someone from the PDP used a statement. He said that if PDP is to even contest in anything, either by coalition or whatever, they would need Obi back. Meaning that the same PDP, if they are to join the coalition, just like what Mr. Obong Thompson said, that means they would not also give Atiku, or they would not also agree for Atiku to go, as the presidency. Because the ADC that we know today is actually saying that they are not zoning anything. They are making it open. And if it is open, it will not favor Obi and, of course, Kwankwaso. But if all of these other blocks, political blocks, come together, the likes of PDP and the Labour Party, to join the coalition to say, okay, fine, we want to join the ADC for this particular election, and let's see how we can use all our weight to go head-to-head with the APC. I don't think anybody would want to allow Atiku go. So what do you think are the strategic implications for Atiku's meeting with the ADP leadership, for the 2027 presidential ambition? Is Atiku really, really desperate as regards to all of this conversation that we're talking about? Will it still stand a chance? Don't forget that Obasanjo is there, around the corner. He also has other, elder statesmen in the political blocks that are also saying that they don't want Atiku to actually, go for this particular, represent the ADC. And how might the rumored alliance between Peter Obi and Kwankwaso affect Atiku's chances in the ADC presidential ticket?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think majority in that issue politically to become president of Nigeria. And I think we expect Atiku'S allies to advise him not to even run, but he can still be playing that fatherly role and work closely with the coalition, either to go to the board of trustees, let him be part of the structure, and allow these younger people and to play these opposition political parties well, than him saying if you didn't get the ticket, you will go. But definitely there will be a lot of alignment and realignment. Many people will be talking to themselves beyond ADP. Don't be surprised tomorrow you may see him discussing with Accord Party, forging strategies to engage with more political parties in support of the coalition. I don't want to believe that him discussing with ADP is trying to pull out of the coalition, because if any one of them pull out the coalition now, they are telling ordinary Nigerians that they are not serious to even engage in political process. I still believe that opposition are formidable. They can really send this APC government out of power. But if they continue playing it in this way, they are telling Nigerians that they are not serious to partake in political process. They only after power. However, in politics, you can't determine what will happen today or what will happen tomorrow. If you look at the book launch that is coming, I think tomorrow, by the governor of Adamawa State, most of the people he invited as special guests are from APC. The governor of Adamawa State is going to now that something may happen to Governor Fitri any moment from now, because bringing all the way from Northeast, bringing somebody from North Central, Adamawa State governor to come and share the occasion, and bringing the Northeast vice chairman of APC. So to let you know that anybody can align at any particular time, but for opposition to be taken serious in Nigeria, I think they need to put their house in order. They need to put it in order in the sense that they need to do a lot of SWOT analysis of why they want to come back to power, or why they want to chase away APC, and they need to convince Nigeria beyond reasonable doubt, beyond they want to grab power. They should be able to come up with a lot of policy coordination that they can use to engage Nigerians beyond normal political, whether Obasanjo or no Obasanjo. Atiku should just go and sit down and play fatherly role in political landscape of Nigeria. He has missed his time. To see Yandi to become president of Nigeria, I don't think that is doable again for him. Not because of his age, but because the terrain is not the same thing any longer. You can see the way Tinubu is dragging. Us and Nigeria, they are not, local government are not the same thing. They speak only 2 languages in Lagos, Yoruba and Edu. In Nigeria, we speak many languages. So all those diversities are very key in our political engagement. So Atiku may be talking to different political parties. It may be for the purpose of alignment and alignment.
Adekule, if I may actually cut you in there, are you saying that the president is not performing at all? Because of course you used an assertion. You said that they mentioned that he did well in Lagos, but of course Nigeria is bigger, as regards to language and all of that. You talked about landscape. I understand what you meant by that, but what I just want to get the clarity. Are you saying that the president is not doing fine? As regards to even to his reforms that everyone has been applauding him, for the nation. Can you hear me? Please go ahead.
I think the network is.
Yeah, I'm asking you. Are you saying that the president? Are you saying the president is not doing fine as regards to his reforms? Don't forget that everyone have been applauding the president, saying that he's doing well, and that it's just a matter of time.
My dear brother, he's not doing well. President that cannot appoint ambassadors to our mission houses after 2 years in government. Our president has been busy traveling up and down.
But therefore, meetings.
Those work is going to go and do are the work of ambassadors, works of high commissions to be. How many times do you see Prime Minister of UK saying he's traveling to one country to go and woo investors to come to their country.
They are different from Nigeria. This is Nigeria.
Yes. Once the government can put necessary infrastructure in place and make the environment conducive, investors will look for you. It's not the role of president to be engaging in moving around the country saying he's talking to investors. No, that is the work of is why we have mission abroad.
All right.
Look at the national embarrassment is causing for us. Appoint ambassadors, engage people that can handle the situation rather than involving yourself in a jamboree. That is what he has been doing. And if you look at the infrastructure they said they are doing, can you look at it and measure it with the quantum of resources they have? Ordinary Nigerians are suffering. What we need, this the Calabar Highway Road, the resources of that project, they will have used it to reactivate Nigerian roads.
So are you also saying,
meaningful to ordinary Nigerians.
So are you also saying that the Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway is not also needed?
Waste of resources is lack of priority. That is not what we need now. Abẹ́òkúta Lagos Road is not motorable. Ibadan Highway still need maintenance. Do you see street light on Lagos Ibadan Highway? No. Do you see anywhere you can drive? You travel from Lagos to Abẹ́òkúta under 120 kilometers or to Ibadan. There's nowhere along the corridor you can park and relax with safety. You can't drive on Lagos Ibadan Express Road in the night with rest of mind. So what we need is to improve security along the roads, the existing roads. You want to travel from, you have choice to decide whether to follow Jos Road or to follow Kano Road. Look at Jos Road. The last time that the governor of Plateau State decamped to APC, he met Nasarawa State governor discussing about Akwanga Road, Akwanga Jos Road. That's about 300 kilometers. That road is still narrow, bent, without any improvement.
All right, I think.
So if that road can be reactivated and dualize it. So look at Akwanga Jos Road.
All right, thank you so much,
Look at Kaduna. Look at Bida Lapai Road. Look at Agai Lapai Mina Road. So there are roads that need to be touched, that to be wasting resources on one elephant project they can't finish in 4 or 5 years. Even the contractors, the process that led to the award of those contracts are faulty.
Okay, thank you so much.
Most of the processes that led to the award.
Thank you so much, Adekunle.
Follow the Public Procurement Act of 2007.
All right, thank you so much, Adekunle, for that wonderful submission. All right, let's bring it back to the studio. I understand the reason why Adekunle is really, will I say furious, or of course expressing his displeasure, as regards to this situation of the administration, because so many people who have actually stayed in the north would let you know that to an extent, Nigeria has actually failed some people, and of course, aside from being in the north, Nigeria has actually failed some people in this country. And all we're just begging for is just basic amenities. But of course, sometimes it looks as if, it is even way too much. And of course, it looks like our request is too large. But let's come back to this conversation before we move to the next conversation. I want to talk about the position of President Olusegun Obasanjo. So, Mr. Obong, do you think that the role of the former president, can actually play something very big as regards to this Obi Kwankwaso that is trying to merge? Do you think it will shape the 2027 presidential elections?
Well, President Olusegun Obasanjo has widespread acceptance as an elder statesman across Nigeria. And we still remember he had one of the best, term in office as a civilian president. And we are still enjoying some of the infrastructures he put in place, like the MTN and so on. So he's still a very respectable voice that we have today. But when it comes to the modern day reality, I think the role that is playing will be effective. But how effective will it be, will it be in this present time that we are, is the question that we need to ask ourselves, because we saw what happened in 2023. He also tried to midwife the birth of Obi, and that he tried as much as he could. But when he also comes to being very firm and rugged in politics, I think I've not seen Obasanjo to play that role. Rather, he has played the role of a statesman, across all political parties. He's being consulted and so on. So I think the political will would have been laid on the hands, on the shoulder of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. If truly he wants ADC to spring a surprise, he would have played that role of, the political rallying points, which is also one of the structure that he has a very good structure in Nigeria. You saw when he was the vice president of, of the country, he was the one that most of the governors went to, and rally around. And when Obasanjo was also busy traveling all around the world, he was the one that, administered some development in the country. So he still have the footage. So I would have preferred Atiku to play the role that Obasanjo is playing, trying to play to midwife the togetherness of Kwankwaso and Peter Obi, which I believe will go a long way, to give the ADC an advantage. But just like I told you earlier, APC government and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a master strategist, has already walked far beyond, the position or the standard that ADC want to bring on board. So they would have started this journey far back earlier. They would have known who becomes the, presidential candidate and the vice presidential candidate. They would have been able to put up all the structures in all the wards all around the country before now. So I do not see the efforts of former President Obasanjo or that of Atiku, El-Rufai, and Amechi and others coming to any reckon with the present APC government as we speak.
Okay, so let's move it to the second conversation. Defense Minister targeted in forward coup. Of course, the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, has disclosed that he was among the intended targets of a recent forward coup plot against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Musa revealed that the plotters planned to arrest or shoot him if he resisted. He described this suspect as a bunch of very unserious individuals who misunderstood Nigeria's democratic history and the strength of its armed forces. Of course, most of the suspects have been apprehended, with only a few still at large. And of course, I think they also released a statement that they might have to, look into Timmy Receiver's matter, perhaps this week or next. So, Adekunle, are you there? Hello, Adekunle, are you there?
You.
All right, so I believe you heard the news story. I just want to take this in just 1 minute. What implication does this fall coup plot have on Nigerians' national security? And of course, how can the government prevent similar attempts in the future? Don't forget that even when this whole situation came out, the military actually said there was nothing like a coup, plot in the country. But afterwards, they actually, admitted that, of course, it happened, and they've apprehended all of the people involved, and they are now, in custody. So, what would you say as regards to this conversation as we close?
Yes, thank you very much. I think the best is we need to improve on our intelligence gathering, and also for government to be sincere with citizens. A situation whereby the military initially said nothing like that, and later they said that it happened. It shows from the leaders and the people that they are leading. So I think improving on intelligence gathering, border management will really help, and we also need to work closely with our brothers at the sub-regional level, say not in the north, and in the south. Okay. Our borders need to be properly looked into. I heard the Minister of Defense saying they are doing some coordination meeting with Ministry of Interior and Foreign Affairs. I think they also need to work closely with the populace at the border towns, because you can't do issue of security in isolation. So people at border communities also have a role to play, and traditional rulers in particular, so that that helps and strengthens their level of intelligence gathering as well to response to issues in a timely manner. Would really help us to avoid occurrence of this type of thing.
Adekunle, in rounding off, the defense minister also described the suspects as unserious individuals. Do you think that this characterization downplays the severity of the situation?
As a senior military officer, I think that's the best way to address them. Remember when he was saying it yesterday, he said before it was the rank of Major General and GOCs as that normally carry out coup. So, as a senior military officer, he has all rights to call them any name, because by their practice, once you involve in such things, there's no name they can call you. I think he has right to call them any name. Also, they are so junior to him.
Thank you.
So I think that's the reason.
All right, thank you so much for that final thought of yours.
You are welcome.
Mr. Ubong, what role do you think economic or social factor played in motivating these individuals to involve in this coup plot?
I think the information before us shows that this coup has already been on the pipeline even before the 2023 election. Okay. So the economic implications and social factors that might have warranted, because when you look at the coalition of the individuals and the officers involved in this military, foil military coup, you understand that it's quite sectional. And getting to mention the person in the likes of former Governor Silva, you understand that, these are very unfortunate individuals that are not satisfied with whatsoever they have. So they wanted to have more. And the military officers that participated in this, I think they didn't consider anything. Maybe it was just a grab for power. I think that would have been what motivated them to plan such a coup.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obontomsi, for your final thoughts, and thank you so much for being part of the show today. Thank you so much, Adekunle, for being part of the program. Hopefully, I would get to have more of you, gentlemen, to join the program in the coming days as well. The views and opinion expressed by our analysts, of course, I don't forget that they are solely theirs and do not reflect that of VOP media. Don't give up, because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last, but tough will last. Whatsoever you face will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. My name remains Xavier Hudo. Have a good evening. Rest.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And to get stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence